Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to look at pagination and how we can handle pagination with use query. Lucky for us, use query make it very easy and very simple. So let's directly dive in. So first I have a parent component which goes a state for the page number, of course, because we need to track whenever the user click a page. And then I have a component which handles the actual loading of pagination. In my component, there's nothing now. I want that we write it together, we go through it together. So the first thing, of course, we need to import the use query hook from React Query. Then our component accepts two parameters, the state of the page number and also the setter function. So I'll pass those as parameters, so page and set page. You can call them anything you want, of course. I will move in. So I need to create my query that will load for me the post, and I'm using again the JSON placeholder API to help me make these calls. So I'll create a const, and you'll see later what we will access. Use query, and this query, if you remember, accept two properties that you have to pass. The first one is query key, which is like an identifier for your query, okay? And it will be an array. So an array of first, what is your ID? And also we need a second value to pass, which is the page number, because that will be changing every time. So we need to pass that as well to our query key, okay? Next thing we need the query fn. And of course that will be the one passing to the function that will help us to fetch our post. So for now I'll create fetch post, and I'll create a function that will help me to fetch that post. So I'll come right here, const fetch post, okay, fetch post, and that will be an arrow function, and it will be an async one as well, so async. And I'll just call my API. So API basically is just calling a post, and I'm passing the page number. And for now, I only want to limit it to so we can see easily our UI. We are moving between the pagination, okay? So just for the demo's sake. So I think I made a spelling mistake here. So I'll just copy this one and paste it right there. Great. Now our use query, basically we are passing the query key, the query fn. Let's access few things here. Of course, the data. Let's say, for example, that is pending to handle the loading state, and also there is error if there's any error happen, and also the error itself. Okay. Now let's come here, and all what I will do is I will handle the error and the loading state as well. So I will say this one, if it is pending, then just display for me this loading. If it's error, then I want to display the error message itself. So up to now, very easy, very simple, okay, and straightforward. Now let's go and map through our API. So let me show you first what give us back, so we know what we are mapping through. So I'll just put page number 1, for example. So you get a title, basic, and body, and ID, okay? So for you to save your time, I'll just paste a code here, and we'll go through it. So all what I'm doing here, I'm displaying first my current page, okay, which is the page ID, or the page number, actually, I'm passing. Then I'm mapping through my data, and I'm displaying the title and the body, okay? The next thing is I'm adding two buttons, one to go previous and one to go to the next page, okay? Now what I will do, these functions are not defined, and all what they do is just trigger the setter function, which is the set stage, to update our page number. So I'll just come and paste them there. So when we click next button, we're just adding one to the previous number, and if we click previous, we are just using the max, so it can take us back. And also if you're on the first page, it should be nothing there, okay? We'll be disabling that button. So easy as that. Let me save this, okay? And go to our application, and boom. So we have our current page, okay, which is the page number. So currently we are in page number 1. and it's giving us back two posts, okay, with the title and the body itself. Now if I go to my DevTool, you can see here I have one call which is stale at the moment because just I'm not it's not doing anything, but I'm using it. So if I click that one, you can see my data is coming. So the first one is ID1 and the second one is ID2, okay, which is great. Now let's click the next page, and you see when I click next page, if you notice, the loading flickered and also this page flickered as well. Okay, let me try again. I'll click next. Now it's not showing because it's cached. Let me now go to the third page. You can see that it flickered. Okay, but lucky for us again, the use query have a property that can help us to avoid that flickering. So that property called placeholder data, and that placeholder data you can pass something called keep previous data, and you have to import that one from TanStack query. Okay, so let's save this and let me hard reload. Okay, and we'll do again the same thing. Now we have our list. I'll click next. So before it flickered, it showed the loading quickly and flickered the content to show me the next one. Now I click next and you can see no flickering. Okay, I click next and no flickering. So what it does is when you click next, it keeps the previous list until really to fetch behind the scene the new one, then it just swap it. Okay, so for me it's so quick, so you can see that, but that's what it does. Okay, now if I click previous, there is no flickering. And why? Because look at your post and the page number, that API with that query keys already exists, so it doesn't fetch it again, it just take it out from the caching and display to the user, which is really amazing. Now let me show you the DevTool. So I'm hard refreshing, so we start fresh. So you can see now we have posts and with page ID number 1. If I click next, you have now posts with page number 2, which is set because that's the one using. But you see the one before, it is grayed out, okay? And grayed out means inactive, it means we are not using it. It is there, it is cached, but we are not using it, okay? I click again next page, and same thing. Now the page 1 and page 2 for the posts, it's just inactive, okay? But the number 3, it is the one instead because that's the one we are using. So as you can see, the pagination sounds really scary when you start talking about it, but use query make it really simple, very easy to work with. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so you get notified when I push my next video, which is about how to unit test this functionality. And after that, I'll be going into the infinite scrolling and using use query to handle that for us. So see you then.